everybody, so today I wanted to do a tattoos and piercing video, something super different for my channel, but it is Mystery Monday, so I figured why not. This is one of the only times I'm ever going to do it. I didn't want to do this originally because I don't have that many tattoos and piercings, so I really thought that it wasn't going to be a super intense and exotic and different kind of video. It's pretty basic, there's not a lot to it. But I think that since I have a lot less than I'd say a lot of people who have done this video, I can give you more background on each. I'll tell you when I got them, I'll tell you the pain scale, I will also tell you healing times and how they were. So let me just get situated here. Sorry, I'm sliding off my chair. So as far as tattoos go, I have no tattoos at all right now. I want to get tattoos. I do plan on getting tattoos in the future, but right now it's not something that I can do or that I want to do. I want to make sure I get exactly what I like and that I'm not going to look back on it and be maybe I want to get something to cover it up because I don't love it. So I want to make sure it's something I love, so there's more thought going into that, but I definitely want to get some in the future. As far as piercings go, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5-ish, I guess, but I will have around 7 to talk to you about. So the first one is the basic generic, everybody pretty much has it, which is your first just lobe piercing. So I just have 1 piercing on each lobe. I did used to have 2, but I'll get into that in a minute. I got these when I was a few months old, so I can't tell you pain scale or healing time. I honestly say the easiest thing and probably my recommendation is to get it when your baby is very young. I know a lot of people are just either or on that, but honestly I don't remember the pain, I don't remember anything. So if I didn't want to get another piercing in the future or anything like that, or if I just eventually wanted to just take them out, at least they were there and that I don't remember any of the pain. So I kind of think of it that way, but I don't remember pain scale or healing time for that. The second hole that I had, which was just the second lobe piercing, now there was so much to go with that. That one, I don't remember what age I was when I got that, but I think I would say maybe 5th grade-ish, I got my second hole. Now those were a horrible time for me. They got pierced 3 or 4 times because I was not healing right. One would heal and the other wouldn't, and then I'd get it re-pierced, and then one would just start getting inflamed and irritated. So I ended up taking them out, also for the reason that they were not even. My bottom holes are not even. You can't tell just looking at me, but if I were to wear smaller earrings, if you were to really kind of try and gauge it, they aren't exactly even. And then with the second hole, it just made it 10 times worse. So they weren't even as far as the distance from my first hole. So if it was half a centimeter from my first and second hole on this side, it was half a centimeter on this side as well. But you could tell more that they weren't exactly even when I had the second hole. So for the not healing, not being even, I just decided to take it out. I believe that piercing's around a 6-month-ish piercing to heal, but again, I never had them fully healed and it just wasn't working out for me. I did also get those pierced with a gun, which I will never ever do again because it's honestly not a good way to go. You're better off getting it with a needle, going to a tattoo shop. So definitely that would be my recommendation as far as piercings go. But those I don't have anymore, but I did have those. Then after that, I ended up getting my cartilage or helix piercing, I guess, if you were to be very technical about it. And this one I got actually, my mom actually asked me if I wanted it, which was weird. I wasn't super into piercings and tattoos at the time. I was actually only in maybe the 6th grade is when I got it, 5th or 6th grade also, because I was so upset that I couldn't keep my second hole. I was just I wanted another piercing, but it was so upsetting to me that I couldn't get it, and I was very wary, and even my mom was very wary on letting me get my helix piercing when I was in 5th grade because she knew how much of a hassle it was when I got my second holes. So I got that. It wasn't bad. Again, it wasn't the most amazing healing. I did get that one pierced with a gun as well. Again, I didn't know much about piercings at the time, so that one wasn't bad, but it still was a little bit longer than I would say the average person has if they have no complications as far as healing goes. Mine did flare up for a bit, but after I would say a full year, which I think is average, they say, for a cartilage piercing to be fully healed, after about a year it was pretty much healed. I could tug on it, I could sleep on it, and not have to worry about it getting inflamed or getting irritated or red. So that wasn't that bad. And on a pain scale, the second hole pain scale was probably, I would say, like a 2. It wasn't too bad, but again, getting them at the same time may, like, you'll feel it more if you get 2 at the same time. And then this one I'd say is about like a 2 or 3. It really wasn't bad at all. Honestly, I'd say it's even like a 1. It wasn't bad, but again, I have a pretty high pain tolerance, so that is going to differ depending on who you are. Then after that, I did get my rook, which is this little piercing up here, as you can see, hopefully. So you can see it goes through this piece of cartilage, and it just goes in one end and out the other. I wanted this one, and I got this one, I think, in the 8th grade. I wanted something different. I wanted something not everybody was going to have. Obviously, in the 8th grade, not everybody's going to have, like, a bunch of piercings. I think that was probably still a little young, but I absolutely love it. I never want to take it out. It was, honestly, everybody says that it's like a super hard piercing to heal, and that it is like very painful when you get it. I actually saw this piercing originally by X Sparkage when she did her piercing video, and she said that her ear was like throbbing, it was painful. Not that it was like bad and it was like unbearable, but that it was like a painful piercing to get. Honestly, when I got it, I would probably say it was like a 3 or 4, maybe not even a 4. The only thing that I would say that was like uncomfortable was my ear. Like, you know, when the blood rushes to wherever you get a piercing, my ear did get very warm and tender, but it wasn't like painful. And like when I was actually getting it in and putting the jewelry in, it wasn't bad at all. That one I did get done with a needle. Obviously, you can't do that one with a gun, but that one wasn't bad at all. Healing wise, it honestly, I didn't have many complications. I did have, I think, if I can remember correctly, I had a small, I don't know if it was like a keloid, but just a small bump on the top ball, which went away after like about 2 weeks, so it wasn't bad, and it wasn't painful or anything. I was just worried because I saw like a small bump right there, but that piercing honestly wasn't bad for me to heal at all. It's easy if you end up like turning around and sleeping on it. I don't recommend sleeping on fresh piercings, but it wasn't bad just because it's in your ear, so it's not like sticking out or getting caught on anything. So definitely, if you want a very different piercing, that's a good one to get because it's inside your ear and you don't have to worry about catching it on anything or things like that. The next thing that I got was my nose. So I got my nose, pretty simple, just a standard stud. Some people tell me that I have boogers in my nose all the time because my nose ring is actually kind of long. So let me see if I can, I don't know if it's gonna show, but like if I flip it down, like if you're in person, you can see the end of it, just because it's the same one that they pierced me with, so it's gonna be a little bit longer to help with like swelling and stuff. My nose, honestly, no complications. I was wearing, honestly, I was bad. I wore makeup like the 3rd or 4th day after getting it done. I've never had complications though because I never put makeup really close to my nose. Pain scale, it wasn't bad. My eye did water. They do say your eye waters when you get a nose piercing, which it did, but it didn't hurt at all. It was just like, just because it's so close to that area, it makes your eye water. Only on that one side though where you get it done. So yeah, it wasn't that bad at all. I did have a nose hoop before. I ended up taking that out for a job interview, but anyway, yeah, so you can kind of see it's just a standard nose ring. It wasn't that bad as pain. Healing, again, it's just pretty standard. It literally felt healed like the 2nd week. It wasn't bad for me at all. I don't know if it was contributed to me washing my face every night and making sure that like I really scrub my face, because I always make sure my face is very clean from makeup and stuff, so I don't know if that contributed to it and making it like stay clean. So I don't know. Honestly, the hardest part about having a nose piercing is also to remember to clean around the inside every night. So other than that, it wasn't bad. As far as cleaning goes for me, I don't clean with any salt, sea salt or anything like that. I honestly just use plain antibacterial soap. My piercer does not recommend that, but I have found in the past that the salt does irritate my skin no matter how little or how much I use. I tried to like cut it down to be like the bare minimum amount that I could use, even half of what they recommend, and honestly I still get very red and very irritated. So if salt irritates you, honestly, even if your piercer says no, I would try just plain generic no scent antibacterial soap. Don't take my word for it. It may not work for you, but for me it worked for me. And then after that, I actually did get my industrial pierce. Now this one's gonna look very different. It's actually 2 separate pieces, and I'll explain why. I used to have a very long bar, which is just a standard like just straight bar that goes across your ear. I had the worst time with healing for this one. This one sucked beyond belief. It was like exactly like my second hole again. I hated it. It was horrendous. But I ended up getting bubbles on each side, and they weren't keloids. They were just because my ear was so swollen, and there was so much pressure on my ear from the barbell that it just was making it worse. My ear was red and tender and sore constantly. It's kind of TMI, but it was very crusty for a long time, like months after I had it done. It is a very temperamental piercing. When I got it done, my piercer even asked me if I was sure that I wanted to get it, because it is very hard to heal. I was sure that I wanted it, and the honest thing that I could say is if you get it done, obviously get it done with the straight bar to make sure your angle's even and everything like that, but I would say that after about a month or so, switch it out to 2 pieces. It helps with healing so much, I promise you. It takes a lot of the pressure off of your ear, and it helps it just kind of heal better and not be so swollen and just constricted all the time. And also with sleeping, like I can still bend my ear kind of forward like this, so if I sleep on it, if anything gets caught, it's still movable. It's not kind of like constricted to that one shape. So yeah, you can see I just have the 2 separate little barbells. Honestly, I have not thought even after it's completely healed to change it. I got this one my sophomore year of high school. My nose, I think I got either that same year. Yeah, I think I got it my sophomore year as well. So both of these I got my sophomore year. And then I do have my and pain scale for this, I'd say it's about a 5 or a 6. It was only painful because you're getting 2 piercings in the same ear, so it's even worse than getting it on 2 separate ears because they're right next to each other. So after one is done, your piercer will check to make sure that the angle is even, and then they don't just go right on into the second one. They want to make sure that it's even, so you're gonna have to wait a few seconds before they go into the second hole. So that one was a little bit more painful, but it's still not so bad. It's over very quickly, and honestly, as far as changing in the jewelry when the piercer actually takes out the needle and puts the jewelry in, I've never had an issue with like having that be painful. I know some people find that painful, but I honestly have never felt it or never had any issues with that, so that wasn't that bad. And then the last one I have, I'm actually not going to show you, but it's a very simple standard belly button piercing. It is just the standard on top, right in the middle, and I got that one I think last year. I think it's been a year about now. So I got that last year, and honestly that is a 0 on the pain scale. It was not bad for me at all. Healing sucked really bad. I kind of am a sloucher, so when I would sit down, I always like had it pushed the barbell up, and I would always get things caught on the top ball, so that kind of sucked. Also, the first original barbell I got pierced with was actually too short, so my belly button actually swelled or swole or whatever to be way more than there was room for, so I had to get a bigger bar put in, so that kind of sucked. But that also was the issue with my barbell as well. It was a little bit too short for me, so that's why I had to get the 2 separate ones also. But no matter if there's a lot of room, I would always recommend getting the 2 separate barbells because it worked really well for me and it healed up, and I know a lot of people have done this and it's helped them heal their piercing as well. So that is pretty much it. That is all I have to say about my piercings. I'm sorry if it was a little bit long. I wanted to give you guys as much information. Oh, and healing for this, after I got it changed to the correct barbell size, it literally healed up within the next month, so it really wasn't bad at all. I think it was just irritated. It wasn't that it wasn't like healing, it was just irritated from being in such a short bar, so healing for that wasn't bad at all. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye everybody.